Welcome back into Tavern Takes. I am back after a brief hiatus for some health issues. um,
Welcome back, Kobe.
um, I have with me today Josh, as usual, Sawyer, as usual, and Will, as
Not my name.
usual. I guess his name is Tanji No Pass. We'll address that later.
I'm happy to be back, man.
I already took the punch, so now you got to take it too.
Yeah, I knew I was eventually gonna have to take it.
He was dodging.
Yeah, Vertigo's definitely dodging. Will definitely dodging.
Yeah.
Some sort of that.
I actually said a prayer to Jesus and said, "Could you give me vertigo so I don't have to face Sawyer for the next 3 days?"
I believe that.
That wouldn't surprise
After all the shit you talked.
I didn't even talk that much crap. I just said Marquette sucks.
You made
All right,
bets. You never put money on anything.
What do you mean I never put money on anything? I literally made a bet on this podcast that I won.
Exactly.
Although
barely. You lost to me, just so you know.
We did put Sawyer in a fucking torture chamber though, and we were not in a torture chamber. So
Yep.
In light of that, Sawyer, you can Venmo Will $25 for me. Just go straight from Sawyer to Will. All right. Anyway, let's get started. We're gonna talk some NBA to lead off the show today. Touch on some NFL, and then later on in the pod, as these games are winding down, we'll touch on some college basketball. We are obviously not doing this live. It is 9:48, so hopefully by the end of the pod we'll be close to the end of the second games, or at least kind of know how they're shaking out. We'll start off with Dame, as we are Bucks. Three of us are Bucks fans. Josh, flash that new bling, Josh.
we're coming back for it. Dame will be healthy in the playoffs. We're coming back to get another one of these.
I admire your
very optimistic of you.
It's unfortunately not probably happening, but
for those of you listening and not watching, Josh bought what I assume is a replica championship ring. I can't imagine that's like
you see that
one on the secondary market.
It ain't the real one. I think Abby,
Wisconsin. I don't think it's.
I think Abby would murder me if I bought the real one, but I've wanted one since we won, and I finally found a steal on one. So,
well, Josh, when we get enough subscriber, you might be able to.
When we get, like and subscribe so I can afford a real championship ring.
Better be waiting about 5 years, because that's it ain't happening anytime soon, buddy.
Let's go
I love
viral
the
now.
optimism.
Let's go viral now.
Yeah. Well, someone better start saying racial slurs or something, because that's the only way we're gonna go viral. That ain't gonna be for a good reason.
Nope.
Sawyer, take one for the team. No. Okay. So let's get into Dame. He's got blood clots in his left Achilles. Is that what it is?
Calf. And his calf.
Calf, not Achilles.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna attempt to
I got you, bro.
Pronounce that. It says indefinite amount of time. I've read stuff on the internet, whether it's legit or not, on X from verified people that they missed like 2 weeks. It can be anywhere from 2 weeks to a really long time.
From what I understand, he's on blood thinners and it's going good. They're going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks, which will almost essentially take us to damn near the end of the season by this rate.
And then there's going to be a ramp-up period.
There's, from what I've read, there's optimism that he might be available by the playoffs, but I would not hold my breath.
Yeah, doesn't look exactly great. And now we are the 6th seed. I mean, we're only a half game behind Detroit. And I believe I saw somewhere Detroit has the second toughest schedule remaining, and we have the sixth easiest. I think that was Nathan Marzon, or however you say his name, said something on Twitter today that I saw. So, and we play them twice to. Did we play them twice to end the year?
The last two
Yeah.
games.
We
of
play
the
them back
year.
to back.
Literally back to back. What I got to say about the Dame thing is I don't like blood clots, man. That
Yeah,
could
it's not a-
ended Chris Bosh's career, so you just never know. It's something that can just stick around. And him being a blood thinners too, they really don't like you playing with that. So, hopefully he comes back, but he is older too, so I think they'll be more cautious.
Yeah, probably because of the Chris Bosh stuff. My initial thought was like, is he ever going to play basketball again?
Literally.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what happened.
So good.
That's what happened with Bosh though. Early on with Bosh, everybody thought he'd come back in a few weeks, and then he just didn't.
It's never happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that doesn't end up that way, but it's hard not to think that.
It ended Wemby season too, and even on those even on those blood thinners, like any ding to your leg or anything, it's like immediate bruising, and it's just a tough. You're walking on eggshells basically if you bring them back, so you might as well just not. KPJ time, Ryan Rollins time. Better freaking step up.
How bad did we end up losing tonight? I didn't even see the final.
By 9. It was 116, 107.
Okay.
Yeah. It sucks, but man, that's the life of a Bucks fan these last 3 years. Just injuries at the end of the year that just shaft our
literally
playoff
since
hope.
we won the championship. We haven't been healthy in the playoffs since.
Even before the championship, it was always something. So it was just literally that 1 year that you were.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis was hurt in the Eastern Conference Finals. We just got lucky enough to play a dog water Atlanta team that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the life of a Bucks fan at the end of the year. We got lucky 1 year. That's kind of how it goes.
As much as I love having Giannis, and this is a little sidebar, and honestly probably could have went into our hot take pod, but almost wish he wasn't as loyal as he was right now.
Why?
Because I think it's time to reset.
Why?
So we can be bad for 50 years?
Isn't he like 29?
He's 30.
No,
he's 30. He's
30.
He's like four months older than me.
Yeah.
He's got at least 3 more seasons. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not wanting Giannis is bananas.
I'm not saying I don't want him as much as it's like, what are we gonna do to build around? What can we do? Like, we're just so I don't know.
I mean,
like,
we've certainly dug ourselves a hole. Like I don't
know how you come out of this hole. That's I'm not saying I don't love Giannis. I love Giannis. I would want him in Milwaukee forever. The only reason I said what I just said is because I think we dug ourselves such a deep hole that I don't know that there's a way to put a championship contending team around him.
Yeah, I guess
that's the only reason I say that.
My question to you would be, did you ever watch Bucks basketball before we had Giannis?
Oh, hell yeah.
That doesn't seem like it.
Josh? Oh, no. We had Giannis at that point. It was when we were at Parkside, Josh and I killed a 30 rack while doing a.
We had Giannis, yeah. We had
Giannis at that point.
Giannis
so you're telling me
the point being we've been pretty bad without him on our team.
I would, and the only way you do that is for a king's ransom, I guess is my point. Like,
nothing that you get in return will equal Giannis.
I'm not saying
coming from a fan who just traded away their best player. There's nothing that you'll get back in return that is equal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it.
I feel like at one point, yes, I understand what you're saying in that the Bucks don't have the financial capability to keep doing what they're doing, but I think it's too early. I think you got at least another 2-3 seasons before you got to think about that.
My only concern would be is that he walks away eventually and we get nothing. But he gave a lot to this city, so it's hard to.
With the cap in the NBA right now, I feel like the Bucks would have something because they would need to do like some sign and trade or something. Maybe not equal value, but
yeah, that's the thing with the rising cap is flexibility always comes about. Like it seems impossible right now, but in 2 years from now, the numbers will all look different. Who knows?
We've freed up
Kind of
ourselves a little bit with the trade, with the Chris trade too. Like as much as it hurts me, but I mean, like we do have a little bit more leeway with Kuzma being on the team and with Chris not. So I don't know.
Kuz, for as well as he had been playing, has been garbage lately.
Yeah,
I don't know what he finished with tonight.
Champion. He's a champion, bro.
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse champion.
Hey, he's a champion though.
He's got a. There's an asterisk next to that championship. I guess he had 20 tonight.
When do we have a first round pick again? That's like actually ours though. Like
I mean next year, but
2028.
I don't know.
I think we have one next year.
2072 for all I know. The way we keep trading these things.
Hey, I mean, I think personally, and I love Dame too, but like personally, like if it comes to that, you go Dame first.
Yeah, obviously you get rid of Dame first. I just don't know who's doing that.
Yeah, we have our first rounder next year.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 2 years from now, but okay.
No, it gets swapped with New Orleans, but we're going to be better than New Orleans either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, fair. Anyway, I hope for not
Drew Holiday trade, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope for not a first round bounce. That's I'm a little afraid that honestly I'm on Will's side on the sense of it's Doc Rivers' fault. I've started to not.
I said that from the moment you hired him.
I've always been a Bud guy, so I never wanted Bud to be off the team to begin with, but here we are, and Taylor Jenkins just became available. So,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say good segue, Josh. The Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins, and I have no clue why. Comments?
We have a couple theories.
Well, we have theories, but
it had to be non-basketball. Did you see they also fired a couple coaches too? Something happened there. Like there has to be some.
I don't think it's non-basketball related. I think Ja might have just hated the dude.
That's kind of what I've been seeing as the day's gone on. That it might have been the Ja Morant thing.
But in the middle of the season, so late, like holy shit,
when you're
something must have just happened.
And you're gonna be
anything to appease your star. Anything to appease your star, man.
This is it could be catastrophic to a season though. To just pull the trigger like this, something had to happen. It's not just a player just saying I don't want to coach. You know, it's 2 weeks before the playoffs.
Yeah, it's really late.
I'm not doubting that something happened, but I think it's more along the lines of something happened with Taylor Jenkins and Ja, not something in Taylor Jenkins' personal life like we were speculating earlier.
That would be way better though.
It'd make for way better.
Other than him and Ja getting in a fist fight, I think our theory would be way better for TV.
Taylor Jenkins stole one of Ja's guns. Lifted it straight out of his locker.
Jesus.
That would be a headline.
So our speculations, being the key word there, speculations.
Your guys' speculations. I said nothing.
Okay, well, our speculation.
But we don't have to get into it.
Oh, you don't want to get into it? All right, we can move along.
We already said we can move along.
I think listeners can put it together that we've talked about his personal life and previous coaches being fired for some reasonings that are not.
Yeah, some Boston related. Coach, a Boston coach.
We won't name names. We won't name names.
Any other NBA stuff you guys want to touch on before we move along?
You guys want to talk about LeBron and Stephen A?
We can do that.
That is my favorite beef.
Someone's got to fill me. What happened there? I've kind of been out of the loop for about 3-4 days here. When did this happen and what? Someone explained to me.
I think it was last week.
Yeah, well, LeBron went on McAfee. That was earlier this week, wasn't that Monday?
Yeah.
Monday or
Yeah,
Tuesday.
that was Tuesday, I think. Yeah, or something like that.
But I'm
LeBron went
saying
on
what started it though was him LeBron confronting Stephen A at a Lakers game about Bronny, and then Stephen A went on like a tour, basically interviewing about that specific event, and then he went on Pat McAfee. I didn't watch that episode. Did you?
I just watched clips
I
of.
saw
I
the
saw it was like
yeah.
an hour long, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he was on McAfee for a long time.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
rare because LeBron never does
Doesn't do
one-on-one
shit.
interviews like that.
My
That's
only
what people-
favorite piece about that podcast was when he said Giannis would drop 250 in a 70 fastball game. So that was
Yeah, he used an argument that I use often.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I say too when I'm trying to talk about the modern NBA.
Old heads would not appreciate that.
No, definitely not.
But anyway, yeah, they just I don't know, they hate each other. Wasn't there something about like some sort of like fist fight like thing being brought up too, and that's why LeBron posted
Yeah.
the Stephen A like boxing video.
Yeah, that was
Stephen
pretty
Stephen
funny.
A had said that if LeBron put hands on him, Stephen A would have swung.
And it's like Stephen A like giving the worst uppercuts.
It was the video is hilarious.
Stephen A would have been DOA.
Yeah, LeBron James.
Gone.
LeBron's a monster.
All like
I did see
75 of them.
I did see a tweet today. I don't remember who did it, but it was a picture of Bill Laimbeer. For those of you who don't know, Bill Laimbeer was like the enforcer for the Pistons back in the 70s and 80s. And he's like this scraggly, like he's somewhat built, like 6'10" white guy. And then it's a picture of LeBron with his shirt off, like flexing, and he's just built like a tank. And they're like, so you're telling me this guy was going to stop this guy from scoring 30 points a game in the 80s? It's like, kind of checks.
Yeah, it is a good point.
Old heads just tune this out.
So Bill Laimbeer weighed 245 pounds, and he was seen as a tough guy. LeBron James is listed at 250.
He's probably like closer to 300.
I was gonna say he's probably like 280.
Yeah,
He's a brick shit house.
Yes, he is.
It's the age old. I love getting in arguments, like a little sidetrack from the NBA thing, but I always love getting in arguments with people who talk about how like Babe Ruth was like the greatest thing ever, and it's like, oh yeah, we got to put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds because he did steroids, but Babe Ruth didn't have to play against anybody of color. So it's like, oh yeah, where's that asterisk, man? He hit 750 home runs off guys who were working at the local shop down the road.
Yep.
It's
Yep,
like,
they're like carpenters. They had day jobs.
Yeah, they're literally. I was gonna say they were like plumbers by day.
I gotta leave work a half hour early. I'm starting an MLB game tonight.
Yeah.
It's a different game too. Like these guys, I mean, they're not throwing as fast. It's just a completely different game. Like, did you guys see since you guys started talking about baseball, Sandy Alcantara's pitch, it moved like 27 inches off the plate. It was insane. It was 98 and moved 27 inches horizontal. Like what? Like Babe Ruth would never. He would never hit that.
So okay, Will, in light of this, let's do this real quick. Like rapid fire. Would Babe Ruth be a top 50 baseball player in the MLB right now?
No.
Today, no.
Hell no.
Well,
let me.
I mean, I've never seen him play, so I guess that's yeah.
The thing is,
like 100 years before my time.
Yeah, you also have to account to like he would have access to all the things that these guys have.
That's true.
So
true.
Like, but just on what I know about Babe Ruth from like a movie or two. Dude, like got drunk before the games, was smoking cigs, like mid game. There's no way he'd be able to do that today. There's no way he would be able to do that today. Yep.
I mean, Marshawn Lynch took shots of Henny at halftime, so.
I mean,
that was just to stay warm, though.
He's a rare breed. While we shifted over to baseball real quick, anything else? You guys got any Brewers takes real quick from opening day? Other
Jackson
You know what I have?
Stroud,
Jackson
also at
Stroud
the
I
is
do
game.
have
gonna
a.
play better than he did yesterday. It's my hot take.
What's your
All
hot
I
take?
have is. Go ahead. Sorry.
That Churio's
I
going to
didn't
play
hear
better
it.
than he did yesterday.
Okay.
I love Churio.
Go ahead,
Julio
Will.
will play better than he did yesterday.
Okay, my hot take has something to do. Not even a hot take. I'm pissed off at the MLB, bro. How do you have all this time in the off season and on opening day your app crashes, bro? It was down for like 2 hours. Insane.
I did see you tweet about that.
Dude, I was angry because
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, not only is baseball making it hard to watch because it's hard, like you need FanDuel Sports and they're horrible. Then the freaking app crashes when you're trying to watch the games. I'm like, that's terrible. Thankfully, the Brewers were on ESPN, but that's my hot take. I don't like MLB TV.
Baseball just has a tough time doing any sort of favors for their fans. Always,
They're the worst.
They are the worst.
I do gotta say,
Israel's gonna have a great season, by the way.
I do gotta say, in talking about the Brewers quick, I was actually snapping Sawyer yesterday when Devin Williams loaded the bases up in the ninth, and then he ended up, like, did he strike out the side in the ninth? I think it was. He loaded the bases, then
Sounds about right.
struck three people out, and I was like,
it was typical Devin Williams.
I was talking to Sawyer. I'm like, oh yeah, typical Devin Williams. Just making this game totally interesting. That guy does not change, and he's still super good. He just blew a playoff series for
his
us.
lifetime ERA is incredible. He's one of the best to ever do it.
He
blew a
lives life
playoff
on the
series
edge.
for us, so I just won't forgive him for that. But it's fine.
That's more the jersey than him, I think. It doesn't matter who's out there. Somebody's going to blow the game.
That's true.
I got nothing to say other than Freddie fastballs back at it, baby.
Dude,
Solo shot.
His third pitch
Solo
of the
shots
season,
only. Yeah.
His third pitch of the season went yard.
To be fair, it wouldn't have been a home run in any other ballpark.
No, it wouldn't have.
It's
no,
true.
it wouldn't have. But the season, I don't really.
2 games into the season, and Josh don't want to talk baseball anymore.
Well, the Brewers are only 1 game into the season, so.
As we came back from a little break there, I hit record before I really should have, and then stop recording when I shouldn't have. So, producer Cole is,
He's
living the dream.
Act like he never left.
Best in the game.
Act like he never left.
The best in the game. Nobody said Tavern Takes is perfect, all right?
We're learning here, day by day.
Day by day, pot
You
by
ain't
pot.
wrong.
We'd like to think we learn from our mistakes.
Okay, so 2 things before we get into the NFL here, and I didn't let you guys know I was going to talk about this, but we will have Josh at the NFL draft on Friday, correct?
Yep.
He will be wearing a Tavern Takes t-shirt, which waiting on an answer from someone before the order gets officially placed, but we will have t-shirts on a couple people. We're not quite at the point yet where I'm going to print a bunch of t-shirts and put that kind of money out yet. But if you do happen to come across Josh on Friday and want to
check out your boy.
Yes, I would be more than happy to take orders and let people know what pricing would be and stuff like that. Sawyer, are you going to the draft at all?
No, my team's good. I don't care about the draft.
Wow.
Will, I know you're going, right, Will? One day?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going Thursday. Most likely Friday, too.
Okay. And then our friend Brandon Gadashek will be at the draft. I think he said he's going all 4 days. Or all 3 days?
3 days.
Three.
Yeah, we both registered for all 3, but I'm sure I'll go one day, or I'll definitely stop by at least once a day. I mean, it's like the biggest event that happens in Green Bay in a very long time. So
probably ever.
Probably ever.
Yeah.
Yep. So I gotta savor that.
What were the numbers in the drafts the last couple of years? Wasn't it like close to 1 million people or like 660,000 or something like that?
They counted 700,000 in Detroit, but
Okay.
they count one per so like every time you exit and enter, it's one. So like let's say you enter and then leave to go get a beer and come back, that's two people. So apparently it's like they expect between 250 and 350,000 people in Green
I
Bay.
mean, that's still
Which is insane.
That's a lot of
It's
people.
insane.
a lot of
It's insane. It's gonna be. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work, but
That's
I'm excited.
Traffic times 3.
Yep. I'm excited for it.
Traffic on 41 is going to be absolutely insane.
Awful.
Yeah, anywhere 41 north, south of Fond du Lac, you're probably okay, but anywhere 41 north and north of Fond du Lac, you're done.
Right, but they're gonna run
Forget
shuttles
about
and
it.
shit. You're gonna be able to park in like parking rides, and then they're gonna have shuttles to like get. The
I mean, they're
traffic.
still gonna have to get in the traffic.
Well, the thing is there's not going to be many places to park, so you're going to be forced to park in like these auxiliary parking lots and shit, and then take those buses. So it's smarter to you to take the buses on the way up.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you see the Tavern Takes t-shirts, go up. Feel free to have a chat.
Holla at the boys.
I will not be
Like
in
and
attendance.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Share the shit.
I will not.
Our content.
I will not be in attendance as I will have work on Friday, and I'm not driving up to that S-Storm. No way I'm going up there. I think it would.
My work is sending me there, so shout out DK Sales.
I'm not going to say what was just said in the chat. Screw you.
You don't have to. That's why I put it in there.
So, I will let Josh take the reins here with this Aaron Rodgers stuff, as apparently he has breaking moves. Boop, 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 boop,
boop. Yeah, as reported on Tavern Takes, Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers, confirmed by me.
Heard it first here.
It was right after the Russell Wilson signing. Aaron Rodgers,
it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
You even got the contracts, right? You got a plug right with Aaron Rodgers. It's the guy that drives his plane. I think.
Yeah, he's got a guy in Aaron Rodgers' camp.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 year, 25 million, 15 million guaranteed. You heard it here first. All right.
Tavern Take Special, brought to you by Colby.
I don't know that you want to say brought to you by Colby, because I've had 2 predictions and we'll get to them later, and I've been wrong on both. So I don't know that you want to be brought to you by Colby. Let's put it that way. We'll talk Stephon Diggs to the Patriots. Sawyer, what's going on in that Texans receiving room over there, guy?
Well, I mean, now it looks like probably receiver round 2 for sure, which is kind of what I thought, whether we brought Diggs back or not. Because even if we brought him back, it was only going to be a 1-year deal. I'm surprised they gave him a 3-year deal. I didn't look at the wordage of the contract. It might only actually be a 1-year deal. But I did want Diggs back with the Texans this year. Even with his health concerns, I thought we kind of needed him. So now, yeah, whoever we draft in most likely the second round, because I still think we go offensive line in the first round.
I think you
is going to get to play a lot.
We have to as well. So Seattle has to as well.
It's a good draft to need an O lineman.
Yeah, it's a really good draft.
He got. I think he only got 23 of that guaranteed, so it could be just a 1-year deal.
I would like to say something just a little off Stephon Diggs real quick. I came on this podcast and was very hesitant about the Sam Darnold deal. Turns out we have an out after 1 year.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes now. If you don't like the contract,
I didn't know that.
You'll realize that it's only a 1-year or 2-year deal.
Yeah, because they just pay the bonus right away, and that's basically all the guaranteed money.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, if he sucks this year, then we suck and we get Arch Manning.
You mean when he sucks?
Yeah, I don't think, I know you're trying to get under my skin there, but I do agree. We're not giving him an offensive line to be productive.
And Kevin O'Connor's
and
not
one receiver.
Excuse you?
One receiver,
What
unless
did
you think Cooper Cup has something left.
Cooper Cup will be a suitable number 2. I'm not too concerned about that.
for 4 games, 5 games.
I believe in Cup. So much that I thought about. I lost 4 Seahawks jerseys in the last 2 or 3. Oh shit! When did Russ get traded? 3 years now.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to buy a Cup jersey, so there's one.
I thought about it. I wanted Kenneth Walker, but Seattle running backs are a living nightmare, so I'm not even going to go down that road. Devin Witherspoon will probably be the jersey purchase because we'll sign him.
I'm done with jerseys. I feel like every time I buy a jersey, it's just bad luck.
Yeah, So anything else on Diggs? I kind of cut off there. Josh, you got anything to say about Diggs other than he's not a Packer, but McCole Hardman.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now that he signed with the Patriots, I'm not hearing anything about how terrible of a locker room guy he is, and that's all I heard when the Texans got him. But
he's still a terrible locker room guy. He's a cancer wherever he goes.
He's everywhere.
Did you hear anything about trouble? People only say
he got hurt.
No, he got hurt.
He didn't have the chance to complain about not getting the ball.
He wasn't getting the ball a ton. He was the clear number 2. He didn't complain at all.
He doesn't start complaining 4 games in. He starts complaining
played 7 games.
12 games in when he's not getting number 1 touches.
He made $30 million. He had nothing to complain about. He made $30 million.
Sawyer just said he only played 7, so 12 games deep. He never had time to complain, so it's fine.
He wouldn't have. Too good of a culture in Houston. We fixed him. Vrabel can thank us later.
Hey, Miko Hardman.
We can talk about that.
Whatever. Actually,
okay.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's such a flyer. Like, it's such a flyer signing. He's gonna be a return man. He's not gonna be in like our main core of wide receivers. So it's Keyshawn Nixon, and Jaden Reed don't want to return punts and kicks, and we brought him here to do that basically. And then maybe just send him.
Is Keyshawn Nixon a good enough corner to be making demands?
I don't think so. He thinks he is, though.
I won't say he's good enough. I'll say he's serviceable, but definitely not like CB1 quality by any means.
But he is right that he has been playing CB1.
Yeah, well, he kind of had to because Jair just is never on the field either.
So he is right in that sense that he is getting those reps. So it's stupid to have him returning punts. But yeah, I get what you're saying, that he's not good enough to demand anything.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell we're going to do with Jair either. So I think he's going to be a June 1 victim anyways. But
sucks.
If we somehow, some way, somehow keep him, it'll be great to have him back and then have Hobbs with him, CB1, CB2. Keyshawn can just focus in on being a slot corner or something at CB3.
I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Jair and fixing him.
Taking a flyer on him?
Yeah. I think we could
probably. You don't want a new contract, though.
Well, we give him a 1-year deal. Somebody else will take him next year. We're just going to fix him.
It'd be a pretty nasty.
You're just out here to fix everybody, huh? Houston just fixes everybody? All right.
That's what we do. Just need D'Amico Ryan's culture. Fixes everything.
Oh, okay.
Depends what you trade for. I mean, like a 4th-round pick worth the flyer.
That's what I think.
For 1 year.
I don't even know that they're getting a 4th for him at this point, to be honest with you.
More to Sawyer's point that it's worth the flyer.
Yeah.
I would just like to restructure his contract and just keep him in Green Bay, but I doubt that happens. So
no, he doesn't.
I'll tell you what.
No,
I trade Tariq Woolen for him. I don't know if that has any interest to Green Bay, but Tariq in a 6th.
I wouldn't do that if I was Seattle.
Right. Why would you do that if you could get him for cheap?
Dude, Tariq listen, I was very high on Tariq.
It's not about
for a very
Tariq. It's
long
that they're
time.
probably going to have to release him.
Yeah, but then you get him to come to Seattle. Is my point. Like you give up
Gotcha.
something
You
to
don't think
get
he will
him.
sign? Okay.
No. There's no way he goes to Seattle. Like Seattle might be team 20 on his list.
If they pay him,
Yeah.
We do have the money. We are projected to have the most cap space next year too. So Seattle's in good position to make some moves next year. It's just we got to see what Darnold does.
you only need a quarterback and a O-line.
We're more than a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. The defense is going to be
shit.
The defense is going to be filthy this year, though. Defense is going to be filthy this year. Top 5 defense, guaranteed.
Oh, here's another cold take for you.
All right. Let's
heard it here first.
Let me write this one in my notes quick.
They were like a top 10 defense after they got Ernest Jones for the back half of last year.
I like how it's always like they were this, after this, or something like a very specific moment.
After they got the anchor. After they got the anchor of their defense at linebacker, after Mike Mack got the guy he wants to play linebacker, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
All right.
But anyway, we're moving on.
I wrote it down.
It's logged.
We're moving on. I got plenty of hot takes.
We know.
What else? What else we got NFL wise that we want to touch on? Anything else, gentlemen?
You want to talk about your boy Russ?
Your boy Russ. Your boy Russ is a giant.
We can talk about Russ. I did love how he went to the Knicks game right away, and he signed that football and threw it, and then literally they memed it of him being picked off.
Yeah, that was funny. I saw that. That was funny.
But I mean, it's an exhilarating QB room.
I mean, him and Jameis is going to be much.
Tommy DeVito in there too, the Italian stallion.
The pregame speeches are going to be immaculate.
Did you guys see the video that was like it was another one of those like how do I want to put it? Like put together videos. It was just like clip by clip, but it was the Russ like Subway commercial, like you feeling dangerous, and then Jameis would be like, yeah, and then he like takes a bite and he's like, it's spicy, and Jameis is like, I like spicy, and like it was so, and then Tommy DeVito was just like in there in the corner, just like staring at like the two quarterbacks, dude. It was. I should send you guys it. It was fucking hilarious.
The Russ thing, moving piece. I've seen some, not from like anyone worth a shit, but I've seen some Pickens stuff, potentially them moving Pickens around the draft because they paid DK the bag. I have seen that they potentially will move him.
I would
also
Pickens.
Come to Green Bay.
You got to hang out with Russ even more.
Also, wildly insane. Oh no, lost my train of thought there. Bad podcasting. It is just nuts. Well, no, I remember now. Wildly insane that Pittsburgh might roll Mason Rudolph out as QB1 this year.
I mean,
like if they don't,
or he go back to Pittsburgh.
He went back to Pittsburgh. Yeah, he re-signed with Pittsburgh.
What the hell are you talking about? Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler.
Yeah, we already know Aaron Rodgers.
I know. So if Josh's report does not come true and they roll out Mason Rudolph and Mike Tomlin finds a way to go over 500, that is just like insane.
Well, he'd be the coach to do it. The guy freaking lives by going over 500.
But also never actually being good. At least not in the last decade.
Yeah, that too.
I think that would be Miami signed Westbrook Akine, right? That
Yes,
wide.
sir. I'm
Big-
excited about that. Finally got a big body. I think we talked about that a few podcasts ago.
We did, but he only catches touchdowns. I feel like I never got to say that. I feel like I
And
never
he's
got.
a great blocker. That's what I'm excited about. He catches tutties and he can block. He reminds me of Matt Collins a lot, which I was a big fan of when he played in Miami. So I think we need a player like that. Big body.
All right. Before we move off the NFL quick, we'll just touch on each of our teams and the aspect of what we think we're going to do in the first round and or second round of the draft if you don't have a first round pick. I'll start. Seattle's going to go O-line or wide receiver. I would hope for O-line, but it wouldn't surprise me if McMillan somehow fell, which I don't think he will, or Golden is still there out of Texas. If they go wide receiver in the first round and then try and address the O-line with the surplus of second and thirds that we have. Sawyer, I'll throw it to you. Do the Texans have their one?
Yeah, we got our one. It'll honestly, we'll probably have a very similar draft to Seattle, or I think we probably go offensive line in the first round, almost word for word what you said, unless one of those top tier guys falls for some reason.
Yep.
But then likely wide receiver second round, then I think back to offensive line in the third round. Two of our
Yep.
first three picks will be offensive linemen, and the other one will
Yep.
be a wide receiver. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, literally. Are we
did
going to have
talk
the
to
same
edge
draft?
rushers.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the Tankathon mock draft, and they got Seattle going with Tyler Booker out of Alabama. He's a guard. I like him. And then
Yep.
they got this is the first round, and then they got the Texans going with Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, another guy I heard good things about too. And in the second round, it's Seattle with Mason Taylor, a favorite of mine. Tight end. I think
I
that
could
might be
see
high
tight
for
end.
him. That might be high for him. And then Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State. I don't know much about him, but big body, 6'4", 214.
That's kind of what we like too. We like taking those big body wide receivers, at least in the draft.
Every time I hear big body, I automatically think of, and Sawyer, you're the only one who's going to get this.
David Roddy?
Yep, big body David Roddy. He used to, for Will and Josh, he used to play for Colorado State. What is that, like 2-3 years ago? And
Yeah,
he
3 years ago when they were really good.
he was just this tank. Like, he's just so built. He's like the 6'9", and like everybody, whenever he scored, it was big body David Roddy. It's like, oh,
Fucking Roddy.
Former teammate of Tanjay No Pass.
For Miami, they
Yep.
got Malachi Starks and in the first round, and then they got Jonah. I can't say his name, and I feel like I don't know, us three. Josh might be different, but I feel like we all got the same kind of needs. A lot of O-line. I feel like a lot of teams in the NFL have that, but I feel like the Dolphins have to focus in the trenches. They basically have like no D tackle right now, so I wouldn't be mad if they trade down and get like a Kenneth Grant or something like that. I wouldn't. They got the Packers going with Jahdae Barron in the first round too. That's another guy I like, the corner out of Texas. He's really good in the second round. They got Nick Scrudon, edge from Texas A&M. So I don't know. I feel like all teams, all of us.
Well,
yeah, I feel like all our teams kind of have similar needs, trenches and DBs.
we don't need any DBs. We got enough.
Yeah, we don't need DBs. Seattle don't need DBs.
I know I do, and I know the Packers do. So.
Yeah, going to the Packers. Whoever Goot wants, I guess. Every time any Packer fan makes a prediction on who we think Goot's gonna get, it's something that's totally different. So, because he doesn't go with fan favorite, he kind of goes with whatever I think he wants. If it's up to me, it's like D tackle or defensive lineman or like an edge rusher of some sort, and a corner next. But I could see an offensive lineman. I can see this going a million different directions that I can't even put a prediction on it because I've just seen this story a million times with Goot, and just anytime you think Goot's gonna do something, it's not quite it's not quite what anybody thought. So
Keeps you on your toes.
he does keep you on your toes. I mean, like,
Schneider
in a
does the
way,
same shit.
it's exciting, I guess, because you might have a pick that it falls into your lap at our pick's 23. So like we wait till pick 23 and so's on the board, and we're gonna take them, and then all of a sudden it's just something that just we go a completely different direction. So I literally have no prediction on what we're gonna do, but defense probably somewhere in the trenches. Probably I would assume first, just like what Will said. Corner next, especially um, with the tentative Jair not being a Packer plan, which I think is going to happen, that he will not be a Packer. But I have no fucking clue. Goot's very hard to predict, so I really don't know.
All right, let's move on to let's jump into college basketball here. Should we? So, which part of dunking on Cole do we want to get out of the way first? Do we want
first before we dunk on Cole, because I know that's going to be more a Sawyer thing. I do just want to say, shout out Sawyer. You did predict Alabama to score almost 120. They damn near almost scored 120.
They could have if they wanted to.
And we did talk about it. Michigan would keep it close against Auburn, and they're currently beating Auburn. So
yeah, 48-47. Oh,
nope, not anymore.
Yep, Auburn just took the lead. 9 minutes, 9:53 left.
But
Michigan actually had a 9-point lead.
So I wanted to shout you out because you know ball, and
I do know ball. That's a fact.
And, it was talked about, so let's just say that. But go ahead and dunk on Cole because I took
ball knowers watch Tavern Takes.
That's
actually, before we dunk on Cole, let's talk about your little how do you say it? Grok? How do you even say that?
Grok.
Yeah, I'll let you and Will kind of go here and explain what this is. I thought it was kind of cool. We'll talk about it real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Grok.
The Grok.
How it was wrong. How it was wrong. How I tell it to give me facts every day, and it misled me. AI is not always right.
No, Will, we're talking about how they called you Bill Simmons.
You're Bill Simmons / Dan Le Batard.
Oh yeah, I'm the Miami Bill Simmons. You just ask it to tell you a little bit about what your tweets are most reflective of, and I'm Bill Simmons over here, and a little bit of Dan Le Batard. But if I want to go national, I'm Bill Simmons. So brought to you only by Tavern Takes.
I do think you would be better as a Celtics fan. That does add up.
That would be funny as hell.
Yeah, that's rough.
I would hate myself.
That's rough that you got Bill Simmons.
I would hate myself as a Celtics fan. I think I would be the worst Celtics fan, like for me.
Sawyer?
I mean, I'm Charles Barkley. It makes perfect sense. I think Charles and I resemble each other a lot.
Terrible.
You got a little Chuck in you.
I saw a tweet today that you look kind of like him.
Yeah. Even the physical resemblance is there.
It's there.
Our game's very, very similar. I would call myself the round mound to rebound.
Also, we do have an Elon Musk on the pod.
Cole's the most philosophical guy I know, no doubt about that.
I don't know. That's why I didn't put it in the group chat because I thought it was so stupid. I don't even know who Chris Haggins is.
He ain't building aircrafts and fucking.
Yeah, apparently I'm Elon Musk.
He ain't building rockets to go to space, but he sure is building up this podcast.
Apparently I'm tech savvy, which the three other gentlemen on this podcast would very much argue over the So okay, now we can get to dunking on Cole. We'll start with Wisconsin, and I'll give my little soliloquy, and then Sawyer can dump on me, whatever. That BYU game was what scared me when I saw the matchup. I was pretty confident that I thought we could win that game, but they handled us on the boards, and they shot lights out, and then, of course, shot 1 for 13 against Alabama in the first half. Literally the next game, which you knew, as a Wisconsin fan, you knew was going to happen. you knew they were gonna S the bed, but I'll eat it. I thought they were a second weekend team for sure. I don't, ironically, don't lose any confidence in guard. I like what he did this year. I'm actually a known fire guard guy.
I was just about to say you wanted him gone
Yep.
last year.
I am a known fire guard guy, and I will
didn't
admit to
accomplish
that.
anything.
It's honestly
It was
nothing
mostly
different in either. He just scored more this year.
Yeah, it's just more
Yes,
fun.
which is a kind of a big deal. Like,
So you just want to have fun. You don't want to win.
I understand.
to attract better players. Yeah, guys like to score. Will, like, they don't want to play for a team that's going to score 60 points a night, and they have little to no chance of playing in the league. Like, this is what it is. And guard is adjusting. He is adapting to the new level of college basketball. He's hit on his. We've needed scoring wings the last 2 years, and he's went out and got AJ Storr, and
Gone.
bum now.
I said
But
he's gone.
We made it. We made AJ Storr get. We're the reason AJ Storr got like $2 million to go play for Kansas. Like,
750.
And then he went and got John Tanji, who was the 377th ranked guy. Cool. Gone. Blackwell's back. Winter's back. Janicki's back. They're
and
gonna
who's
hit
not
the
coming
portal.
wait, before we get there, and who's not coming to Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, I was wrong on Owen Freeman.
Owen Freeman's not going to Wisconsin?
Oh, I heard it was a lock.
That was a lock.
They are after the good Davidson guy just went in the portal. Their 7-footer went in the portal today. Got Wisconsin ties. There's a couple other guys they've reached out to. And this is from actual Wisconsin recruiting.
You should be all in on the Lipscomb guy. He's from
Wisconsin. Yep, from Wisconsin. Yep, he's the other one.
He just looks like a Wisconsin big too, kind of.
Yeah, like 6'9", A-Sun player of the year. Like,
ugly white guy.
Yep, he'd be a good get for us.
Yep.
So Sawyer, go ahead and dunk on me.
Well, I mean, I've given most of my spiel to Josh, but I just want to pat myself on the back for being able to foresee why Wisconsin wouldn't get out of the first round. And that's for the reason that Tanji can't pass the ball.
They got out of the first round.
Or first weekend, sorry. That's why he's not going to play in the NBA. That's why he lost to BYU. Because for as good as he was, he had what, 37?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's an incredible college
37
basketball scorer. But the last possession of that game,
He
all
should
you
have
have to
gave
do
it
is
up.
all you have to do is run him off the 3-point line because he can't pass. You know he's not passing the ball. So once you get him inside the arc, the double comes. He's taking a terrible fadeaway.
Yeah, he didn't have a good look.
I do agree. He should have passed that ball. That was my first thought after I saw it.
Like, that's not how he plays.
Yeah. No,
and BYU knew that.
I agree. I don't have any arguments against
and
that.
And that's why you can't have your best player be a guy who can't pass the ball because you can't win at the end of games.
I wanna ask Cole a question that Sawyer asked me because I want to hear Cole's response to this. Sawyer already heard mine, but Sawyer did ask me, is this loss easier knowing that there's no like true commitment to players that have been like longevity in the program, like not like a Klesmet and all like Crowell and all them, but like Tanjay, for example. Like Sawyer brought up, like he's had Cam Jones for 4 years. That's why his loss is harder. Is it easier to get over our loss knowing that like NIL exists and we may not have these players now for as long as what, say, Marquette did in their tenure?
I won't. I don't think,
because to me it's actually easier. I'm kind of over the loss now. Like, it is what it is. Tanjay's gone. We're gonna find somebody else probably in NIL because it's just how this shit works now. Like,
yeah. Real quick before I answer that, Michigan really let that get away kind of quickly.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. Auburn just went on a run.
Game of runs.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes left. A lot of time.
To me, no, the loss is not easier because in the end, no matter who is playing for that team, I want my team to succeed. Meaning, like,
You're cheering for the jersey.
yeah, I'm cheering for the jersey, not the
Yeah,
player.
I am too. I think
get
he's
it.
more talking from like the player.
My argument was more like I've
The player
watched Cam
perspective.
Jones go from a 6
so
point
you got
to a 20
let me
guy.
let me finish here because I was gonna go into this a little bit too. Like when Kaminsky and Decker and that team lost to Duke, that is, other than the Super Bowl loss where Russ threw the pick at the 1 yard line.
Should have ran it.
The toughest loss I've taken in my life. And that did suck. Like I can see where Sawyer's coming from. Like I definitely am not dismissing the fact. But to me, I'm cheering for the jersey. Like in the end, I want Wisconsin to go far. I get where you're coming from.
Well, like, did you watch the John Tonje press conference and cry that night?
I didn't watch the Frank Kaminsky and Scott Decker press conference and cry.
So no. Sawyer's point, I do feel that the transfer portal is diluting like the passion of the game. Like I feel like these players have I don't know.
It's not diluting the passion of the. It's not diluting the passion of the game. It's diluting the passion
for the players
to their program, to a certain program.
And I think if your team builds in that way, like I think it's just easier to get over stuff. Because like even before the tournament was over, you were talking about transfers, right? Like transfers.
I was talking before it was over.
In my mind.
Yeah, and I was talking about it before, like you said, before it was even over. And it's kind of like I kind of compare it to it's gonna sound weird, but the Bucks championship, like it was mainly homegrown. And there was a sense of like, we kind of felt really
it felt fucking
good
awesome
about it. Yeah, like we didn't
homegrown
pay
Giannis?
Our way
Chris
to the
Giannis.
champion.
Chris
Giannis?
Our two best. You didn't draft him.
Wow.
Yeah, we developed him. Yeah, we developed
he played in Detroit.
Minus 1 year when he was in
the
developed
him.
He was in the G League. Yeah. And we drafted Giannis, which is very homegrown.
Yeah, you did draft Giannis. I'll give you that. But the rest of the team wasn't homegrown. They were guys that you like to be homegrown, but Drew wasn't homegrown. No, Bobby wasn't homegrown. PJ wasn't homegrown. Brooke wasn't homegrown.
Brandon Jennings was sitting.
Yeah.
Through the whole thing.
What's an NBA core? Is it 5 guys or is it 2 guys?
Yeah, it's 8. You need 8 to win typically, but yeah.
A core?
Hold on.
You need 8 core guys. Yeah, in the good rotation of the playoffs, you need 8.
Nobody brings the same top 8 back year in and year out.
No, you don't. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like guys like to come back every year. Yeah, 5. You want your starting lineup.
Bobby Portis was an afterthought in the league before he got to Milwaukee.
Yeah, but he's not homegrown.
Yeah,
so we resurrected it, or
we literally resurrected his
career. That's what I said. They're guys that you grew to love, and they do call it Milwaukee home. It was funny too. PJ just was in Milwaukee, and he took a picture of like the bridge and shit. It's cool. Like, yeah, I mean, but they're not homegrown guys. They're guys that you grew to love, and they love the city. It's pretty cool to see. Like Drew still, like I feel like Drew is in and like with the Celtics, and like I just feel like that's wrong. Like I feel like he's a buck.
Yeah. Brooke Lopez never thought about a 3 until Milwaukee.
A different type of game, though. When he first got into the league, it was a different type of game.
Still the best all-time leading scorer.
We still literally like I don't know.
It was a different type of game. He wasn't asked to do that in New York. I mean, New Jersey. He didn't have to do it. He had to do it with the Bucks because of the way Giannis played.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about last night's games. What was it was Alabama BYU. Sawyer, I'm gonna let you take this because you called this game. So
I just thought the writing was on the wall. Like BYU, as good as they are offensively, they don't play any defense. Like
They
my
don't.
point to Josh was originally is Wisconsin scored 89 points in that game.
Yeah.
They missed a
lost.
ton of wide open shots. Like they could have
They
scored
did.
100 easily.
Yeah.
And Bama and you, I mean, you're not beating that Bama team when they're playing like that.
No, I don't
Right.
think anyone's beating that Bama team when they
No,
do.
oh yeah, no, they're beatable. But I'm saying the Bama team that shows up and plays like that, they're hard to beat. But they're beatable because they're hot and cold.
But it's so
They're
much
not always
easier to
gonna do
it's so
that.
much easier to play like that against a team like BYU than it
Absolutely.
is Florida, Auburn, Duke, whoever.
Yeah,
Like BYU doesn't play
absolutely.
defense.
I'm gonna throw a hot take out, and I'm probably a prisoner of the moment for this. But we were calling games the other night. Sawyer and I were. I have firm belief, and again, I might be a prisoner of the moment, but I have firm belief Bama's gonna beat Duke.
No,
It could
No.
happen.
it
I'll
could
be
absolutely
rooting.
happen, but it's not happening.
I'm standing on business from my Duke is gonna lose thing.
How many?
Bama is the team to beat Duke.
Did you watch
Here's my
Coop?
question.
Did you
Here's-
watch Cooper play?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes,
here's
I
my
did.
question. How much of the Duke Arizona game did you watch before you fell asleep last night? Because
Oh.
Arizona played much better.
Pretty much all of it. Pretty
I
much
did
all
fall
of it.
asleep.
Arizona played incredible, and Duke still beat them semi-easily.
I did fall
Not
asleep like halfway through the second half. But
Caleb Love went off.
Not only that, let's go back to what Will just said about Alabama being hot and cold. How many threes they hit in that BYU game?
It was like 20.
25. 25.
Yeah, it was insane.
So you know what's coming next.
26.
No, I just think I think the rims are soft there in Newark because Duke and Arizona both shot lights out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but you still know what's coming next. They ain't hitting 26 threes, and they're
Well,
probably
no,
going to
they're
do
not gonna hit
26
26.
threes to beat Duke.
Duke's
Alright,
also
sure.
going to play defense.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just
Like that's
saying-
my point.
This
Yeah,
Bama
Duke
team
is a
can-
good
can
defensive
beat
team.
them. And I want to stand on business for my Duke take from like 3, 4.
Yeah, because
5
you're
times.
It's
You're
not
Auburn.
Auburn, Josh. I can see it. I mean, like I just said, if it's that Bama team that shows up where they can't miss, I mean, they're hard to beat.
well, you said
older.
Duke or Auburn.
They're,
You said
they're an
Duke
older
or
team than Duke is.
I said Duke or Auburn. But
There's
yeah,
a
you
bunch
said
of guys
Duke or
who were at
Auburn.
Final
So
Four
there's
last year.
there's time. Real quick, did you guys see that Donovan Dent
yeah,
UCLA.
committed UCLA? Yeah.
UCLA.
Did he really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It was
That's-
pretty much like right
Good.
before we
Good. I thought he was coming to the Big East. Get him out of there.
that was via Rothstein, so that's as good as it gets.
Speaking of games from last night, Will, how you feeling about your Gators here moving forward?
I honestly think that Florida has had their toughest games. I'm nervous to see how Condon plays after that injury. That's the only thing. But
yeah, he got.
I don't know.
I think he got a little lucky with Maryland with the weird Kevin Willard stuff going on. I don't
I
know.
was
if
just
that
saying we got to touch
that
on
was
that. We got to touch on that
necessarily-
after
we-
Will gives us Florida.
we still beat them pretty convincingly. Like
Yeah, you did. And they're good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and I mean they Queen is pretty fucking good too. I think he gave them problems, and then with Condon going down, made it even tough. I mean, Condon basically played one half, and what half he played was hurt. So, and I feel like him and Clayton are like the most important players. So, I don't know. I feel like that's the toughest game that they'll see till probably like the Final Four. I don't know if I'm wrong about Texas Tech. I guess I don't know much about Texas Tech, but
They played bad last night and still won.
You have.
I don't think they'll play worse than that against Florida. I still think Florida beats them, but I think it's probably a better game than you think.
You have size against them too. I think you'll be fine.
I mean, Florida has size against almost everybody except.
You know what they say though. There ain't no stopping JT Toppin.
There ain't no.
Oh, there's gonna be
stopping
stopping.
JT Toppin.
There ain't no stopping.
He's not even related to Obi, so whatever. I retract that.
Sawyer, your Arkansas Razorbacks are now forbidden and gone.
It looked great for 35 and a half minutes.
It was awesome.
When I fell asleep, they were winning that game.
Yeah,
We're up 13 with 4.5 minutes left.
I went to bed because I thought they were gonna win, and then I woke up and I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And then I got a text from a buddy of mine that was like, "Dude, this game's crazy. Are you watching it?" And that was like 11:30 at night. And I'm like, "No, I'm asleep, buddy."
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a recap of the games yesterday. The two that are done so far, Tennessee kind of leaned on Kentucky, which kind of figured was going to happen after Kentucky beat them twice this year already. Kind of
Hard
felt
to
like
beat a
Tennessee
time.
was due to get them.
Hard to beat a
They-
team 3 times.
Yeah, Tennessee kicked Kentucky's ass. That game
It was
wasn't
never
close.
close. Yeah.
I will say the one of the many takes I've had that has been completely wrong about this NCAA tournament. Shout out Ole Miss, man. I did not think Ole Miss. I mean, they gave Michigan State everything and more that they
That
could
was an
handle
awesome
tonight.
game.
Nobody's been given more credit for losing than Ole Miss on this pod.
Dude, I liked them. I loved them. I loved
Did
how
I
they
miss
lost to
something?
Auburn. I love how they lost to Auburn, and I was like, dude, ever since I had them,
Oh,
I had them losing to
crap.
Michigan State, but I did have them winning up to this point. I just didn't like this matchup for them, but I'm happy Michigan State moved on. I have them in my Final Four, so
I gotta say,
Oh my
boys,
goodness.
I have yeah. I gotta say I haven't updated our bracket since the after
know.
Thursday. Well, why would I bother? But I tell you right now, I'm in real good position.
I'm not, so it's
I got my Final Four. We're good.
my Final
Yeah, I
Four
do
is still
too.
intact too.
I'm pretty sure I do.
I mean, I got most of my Elite Eight. If Auburn pulls us out, I mean, I got Auburn, Michigan State. I have Texas Tech and Florida. Or no, I don't have Florida because I had them losing to UConn.
Yeah, that's a
I don't have
mistake.
Florida,
Uh,
but
Almost.
Michigan is down 13 with 4 minutes left. So
yeah, and also I don't know. It just went to break, but
it's
Purdue,
42-37, 14 minutes
5
left.
point game.
Houston is up.
Houston is starting to wear them down based on
Yes,
what
they are.
That Houston Tennessee game. I know I've been saying this a lot, but I cannot wait for that game. That game
That's
is
going to be
It's gonna be a
great
rock
game.
fight.
That's
I
gonna
have
be
I have Tennessee winning that one.
So do I. That game's gonna be a bloodbath.
Well,
All
my bracket that I'm counting, I have them winning.
Rocky Top to the Final Four.
Can't play it because my daughter's sleeping, so I'm not even gonna risk that. Before we get out of here, Josh, you have a good buddy who is going to be covering the Denver Broncos this year. We're going to get him on the pod eventually. Look for that pod. That'll kind of be a cool little pod. I was gonna ask maybe you could reach out to him and we could do something either tomorrow or Sunday.
This week we cannot. He is back at home doing wedding stuff because he is getting married and whatever. And he lives in Texas, but his home is in Minnesota, so he will not be around currently. I did reach out to him. He is pretty busy with draft stuff right now, but he can probably squeeze time at some point. So I'll have to just keep touching base with him.
And that might be a Josh and him podcast alone. Maybe other people will get onto it depending on when Josh can squeeze that in. But look out for that.
Sorry, unless you want to say hi to your old good pal Trace.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah.
Shout out Trace.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you guys can't go on. I'm just
yeah. It'll be cool.
Josh will be the lead.
It'll be cool because he used to be a radio host in Fond du Lac. He got a job in Texas covering the NFL. So
lucky local celebrity, bro. Love it.
It's a pretty cool gig that he's got right now, and yeah, I'm hoping that I can pull the strings to get him on. So
the Broncos are fun,
and he's going to be covering a fun team. So it's pretty cool.
Also moving forward, Josh will be kind of running point on these, maybe a little more. We kind of finally got everything figured out so that someone other than me can handle this stuff with the issues I've been having and the laziness, I guess you could say, but I won't accept that. Other people on this podcast will tell you it's laziness, but it's not.
Nobody says
that. All right, Josh. Where can they find you, buddy?
At Robo39 and at Tavern Takes.
That's the Twitter man.
Sawyer?
Sawyer Huff 1, alter ego, Tanjay no pass.
Will?
Uncle Bobby 26 on all.
Take it easy, y'all.